Hello, this is a demo and preview version of the WE Scar L that we're selling on eBay right now. Primarily what we want to do this video is show you some of the major design specifications with this gun, some of the really cool features like this action right here. Also, what we want to take a look at is some of the very minor flaws that happen with this gun. And additionally, we're going to, after that's all over, we want to take a look at the shooting test as we shoot a cardboard box over there and to show you really what we're getting with this deal. Let's start off first with the licensing. Now this is a licensed version of the Scar L by WE. What does that mean? Well, you can see by this little logo over here that it's licensed by FN Herstal, which is actually a company that makes real guns. A licensed version of the WE is very different from the normal WEs. Why? Because the weight specifications are exactly the same as the one used in tactical training by the military, by the police, and the Navy. This is a more expensive version, and this is a really rare version of the W Scar. A generic W Scar will not have this licensing. Licensing means that it's actually a rarer version, and that it's just the specifications overall are better. That's why the military uses it. Once we've seen that, let's take a look at some of the features that come with this gun, starting off with the stock. The stock is really cool for several reasons. Number one, it's adjustable, meaning it can go in or out. There's 6 different levels of how far you want it in or out, which it's up to you whether you want to move it against your shoulder more if you have a longer arm, or if you don't want to, you can move it in or out. That's really nice. Another thing cool about the stock is that it flips backwards and it locks back on this side. One of the reasons it's not locking so well is that we've got this sling in the way that's not letting it lock back, which we're actually including the sling also. You can move it to the other side if that means anything. But if you want to use this as a submachine gun, that makes it for close quarter combat, that makes it really nice. Or you can just have it out and against your arm, ready for combat. That's a really cool feature. Another thing is this chin, or cheek rest that goes up and down. Whether or not you want to have your cheek really close against it or not is completely up to you, but that's fully functional. Next, we're going to take a look at the tip of this gun. And it doesn't come with an orange tip, but we will include some orange tape to make that color orange that people know that you're shooting an airsoft gun, not a real gun. What we do have is a gray tip that is the same color as the barrel, and it screws on and off, and this is really, really nice because you can take this off, put an orange tip on, put a suppressor on, put a flash hider on. It's really nice, and it really makes the gun able to be really versatile with what you want to do with it specifically. Now let's take a look at the sights of this gun. Here's the aiming front sight, and here's the back sight. They both flip up and flip down really easily. You don't need these right now, and I'll tell you why. We're throwing in this red dot sight, which means that you can look through it and there'll be a red dot and you won't need these aiming sights, but if you want to take it off, replace it with something else, you can use the back and the front sights, which can be adjusted both ways. That's another really nice feature of this gun. Let's take a look now at probably one of the more interesting features, and this is this fire selector we have right here. The fire selector is really solid. Why? Because it has 3 main modes of fire. On the number 1, it's a single shot, meaning it's semi-automatic. You pull the trigger, and every time you pull the trigger, it fires. Up here is automatic, meaning you can lock down on the trigger, and that thing will fire at a ridiculous rate, like a machine gun. And here's safety, which means that the gun won't fire at all. If you're near people, if you don't want to shoot the gun, always have it on safety. That's really, really important. Now let's take a look at probably, I think, is the coolest feature of this gun, and this is the fact that it is a gas blowback, meaning that every time you fire the gun, the action locks back and forth. And that's really nice for several reasons. Number 1, it looks really cool. It locks back when the magazine's empty. You load the magazine in, press this button, and it locks back forward. I think that's probably one of the sweetest things about this gun. Another thing is that it also gives it a really solid kickback. When you're firing the gun actually kicks back because this is the solid chunk of metal moving back and forth. Makes it a really realistic feel to the gun. Also, what we have here is the rails. Now, it comes with rails on all 4 sides, meaning we've got a rail on the bottom with this grip that we're also including for free. You can put a grenade launcher, stick something, a flashlight, whatever you want. Also on the sides, and it's got a partial rail cover we're including, and a full rail cover on this side, which also has a rail underneath this cover that we're including also. All the way in the top, you can add a sniper scope, you can do whatever you want to it. That's completely up to you. But these rail covers are very nice and very useful to have. Also, what we're looking at with this gun is the fact that there are some minor design flaws. They're not super bad, and I'll show you why in a moment. The first design flaw is the fact that the back does not have a cap, meaning that there's no rubber shock absorber that goes back here. That's not important at all. It doesn't affect the gun in any way, shape, or form. It's a little minor detail, and you can probably purchase another one from your local airsoft store, or maybe from eBay, for not that much of a price increase. I don't think it would be more than 10 bucks. Also are some minor wear and tear flaws, like these scratches on the rail, a few scratches on the side over here. That has nothing to do with the performance of the gun. It still works perfectly fine. I'm sure that the real guns they use in combat have scratches on them also. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a shooting test. There is a target over there. I don't know if you can see it. It's a cardboard box, and we're going to put in the clips. Now, there are 2 clips we're throwing in with this gun. The first doesn't work so well because it leaks gas. That's pretty much it. We're throwing this in for free. If you want to get fixed up, checked out by an airsoft store, it's completely up to you. We're just throwing this in as a measure of goodwill. You can do whatever you want with it. This clip, however, is perfectly functional. It's got gas and it's loaded right now. And it's not fully loaded. Both these magazines come with 30 rounds in them. And I'll show you a firing test. What I want you to pay attention, and we're going to start out by shooting semi-automatic, which is the number 1 button. I want you to pay attention to the fact that the action slides back and forth and the sound and the kick that it makes off of these chunks of metal moving around inside of the gun. So we're going to fire a few shots of semi-automatic. Now we're going to switch to auto. That's a really, really nice gun, and I want to show you close up what it looks like in auto. That is just an awesome design feature, and I think that's probably the coolest thing that you can have in a gun, this gas blowback, and it's really a unique design. Anyway, so we hope this video was helpful to you, and we ask you to definitely take a look at this gun. It's a great find. We hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.